Take notes if you wish to become a master of disguise.
I don't have to save face anymore, Mrs. Sellner.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 best disguises in movies.
Million pieces of mail every year. More mail than Santa Claus gets. Each precog has their own bedroom, television, and weight room. It really is wonderful to be a precog.
For this list, we're taking a look at the most convincing and memorable disguises that characters in film have used to conceal their identities.
Quaid. That's Quaid! Where? The woman! Get him! Her!
We've excluded simple masks, you know, like the cheap kind that you might pick up at any store and wear to rob a bank, because while they usually get the job done, there really isn't much creativity to them.
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
Number 10. Two-Faced Face-Off.
But all that's the easy part. Here's the real science.
If the face-off machine actually existed in real life, identity theft would be even more common than it already is.
This is a state-of-the-art morphogenetic template. The inside is modeled on your skull. The outside exactly like Troy's. Then we fit his face on top. Not a replica, but the real thing.
It'd also make it much easier for the FBI to go undercover. And that's just what John Travolta's Sean Archer does when he dons the face of Nicolas Cage's Castor Troy.
Sean Archer here, who's calling?
Well, if you're Sean Archer, I guess I'm Castor Troy.
This backfires on Archer, however, as Troy seizes his face and an action-packed case of mistaken identity ensues.
I'd like to take his face off.
Both actors do a highly entertaining job impersonating each other as they go head-to-head in cinema's most manic case of overacting.
And then somehow Castor came out of his coma and killed everybody who knew about the mission, but not before transforming into me.
Number 9. Polyjuice Potion, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Wow, we're identical.
This transformative potion is one of the niftiest concoctions in the wizarding world of Harry Potter.
Well, fancy this, you're not you, so shut it and strip. All right.
Throughout the series, it helps Harry, his friends, and his enemies access numerous heavily secured locations and slip past foes undetected. For example, one especially ambitious Death Eater used it for practically an entire school year to impersonate Mad-Eye Moody. However, we think Polyjuice Potion is most effectively utilized in the first Deathly Hallows chapter, as 6 of Harry's closest allies assume his appearance to act as decoys and evade the Death Eaters. It's an out-of-body experience for everyone, although Fred and George already know what it feels like to look identical.
The whole wide world of ear-related humour, and you go for I'm holy. It's pathetic.
Reckon I'm still better looking than you.
Number 8. Mr. Stefano, Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Count Olaf.
Hello. Now, why would you say something like that?
A Series of Unfortunate Events deservingly took home a Best Makeup Academy Award for transforming Jim Carrey into the eccentrically devious Count Olaf.
I must say you're a gloomy-looking bunch. Why so glum?
Our parents just died.
What's just as impressive, however, are all the disguises Count Olaf dons to get closer to the Baudelaire children's fortune. His most entertaining character is Stefano, a big-nosed Italian who at times seems to be channeling Jeff Goldblum.
I am Stefano. I am an Italian man, and I am here to assist him in his research as best I can, as well as to facilitate and remain observatory.
His disguise naturally deceives all the clueless adults, but those quick-witted Baudelaires see right through the facade.
You're Olaf, and we're not letting you in.
If only somebody else would listen to them.
Anyway, that's why you should never run with one of these, kids.
Words of wisdom indeed, Mr. Stefano.
Oops, you caught me being a mentor.
Number 7. Scarlett Johansson, Under the Skin.
Are you going to meet someone? All right. Well, thank you.
If you're an alien who lands on Earth and decide to start abducting random men off the streets, Scarlett Johansson is the ideal woman to model your disguise after.
Do you want to live?
Why not?
With her face and figure, any guy will gladly get into your van with no questions asked. Under the Skin is all about showing rather than telling. Thus, Johansson's almost entirely physical performance carries a majority of the film. She's transcendent as a being searching for a personal identity, sexual identity, and identity in general, as she explores her new body. Number 6. Improv disguise, Sherlock Holmes.
Holmes, what are you doing? Nothing. Are you wearing a false nose? No. Tell me that wasn't.
Being the greatest detective who ever lived, Sherlock Holmes is also a master of disguise. He can be sitting right in front of you and still be invisible to the naked eye. Always thinking on his feet, he doesn't need to plan ahead. He can devise a first-rate costume on the spot. His camouflage and improvisational skills are best demonstrated in this 2009 interpretation, as he throws together several random accessories to pursue Irene Adler. He makes blending into his environment look elementary, to say the least. Number 5. Ethan Hunt's face, Mission Impossible 2.
Sean, this rat's reached the end of the maze.
Is he alive?
Yeah, more or less.
Bring him to me.
No matter how many times that mask trick fakes us out in the Mission Impossible movies, it always takes us by surprise. The cleverest utilization of the mask stunt is arguably in the first Mission Impossible sequel, as Ethan Hunt gives his enemies the slip by disguising a very unfortunate guard with his face. By the time the villains realize this, the real Ethan is already making his escape. Between this and Face Off, director John Woo certainly has a thing for identity swapping, not to mention epic choirs. Number 4. Rice Farmer, Tropic Thunder.
Twingini, voila,
In Tropic Thunder, Robert Downey Jr. plays Kirk Lazarus, a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Australian actor playing an African-American sergeant who later impersonates a Vietnamese farmer to infiltrate a base. So basically, he's a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Lass, don't let him take me off the yak.
As a gifted method actor, Lazarus is able to ad-lib a character to distract the enemy soldiers.
Sure, watch out, Bao Ta. That's
The more he rambles on, however, the more mixed up he becomes with the small details. Eventually, they catch on to his ruse, and the award-winning actor finds himself starring in a critical bomb for once.
Where is your farm? American!
Here's my motherfucking farm!
Number 3. Sergeant Jim Pembry's face, The Silence of the Lambs.
Well, Clarice, have the lambs stopped screaming?
Dr. Lecter.
Although Hannibal Lecter is incarcerated throughout much of The Silence of the Lambs, you know that he's just waiting to fly, fly, fly away.
You fly back to school now, little Starling. Fly, fly, fly.
After several earlier scenes of tense buildup, Dr. Lecter is given a window of opportunity and demonstrates just how cunningly sadistic he is.
Ah!
executing his escape plan. He fools the authorities in the most horrifying and disgusting way imaginable by stripping off a cop's face and wearing it as his own.
Ready when you are, Sergeant Pembry.
By the time the police realize the swap, the theatrical serial killer is already free.
Vital signs are good. Pressure is 130 over 90. Yeah, that's right, 90. Pulse 84. We got him on lactated ringers running, and the patient is on 10 liters of oxygen.
Number 2, Mrs. Euphigenia Doubtfire, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Look at this. My first day as a woman, I'm getting hot flashes.
It isn't easy for a man to pass himself off as a woman, especially if it's his ex-wife and 3 children he's trying to fool.
So sad, because marriage can be such a blessing.
So can divorce.
If anybody can pull off such a deception, though, it's Robin Williams. Being a master of voices,
I do voices.
Williams can pull off a female English accent with ease. However, it's the whole Mrs. Doubtfire ensemble that completes the illusion.
Oh, I'm sorry to frighten you, dear. I must look like a yeti in this get-up.
Elevated by Oscar-winning makeup effects, we completely forget that it's Williams under this disguise. Well, except for when he occasionally breaks character.
Back off, asshole! Beat it!
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Look, the orcs. They're moving off. You see, Mr. Furlow? Some luck at last.
Is that leather?
2 weeks.
Excuse me?
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
We hear you loud and clear.
Listen, Mathilde, I've been thinking a lot about that bulimia thing, and I want you to know, I understand where you're coming from.
My brother. A twin.
Number 1, Dorothy Michaels, Tootsie.
No one will hire you.
Oh, yeah?
While Robin Williams was completely uncanny as a woman, Dustin Hoffman may have been even better as Tootsie.
My name is Dorothy. It's not Tootsie or Toots or Sweetie or Honey or Dow.
Oh, Christ.
No, just Dorothy.
As an actor who can't find work because of his hard-to-work-with reputation, Michael Dorsey is forced to reinvent himself as Dorothy Michaels. This premise has been done to death since, but one of the reasons Tootsie remains a comedy classic is because Hoffman is so utterly convincing as both these characters.
What about this thing?
No, I don't have the right shoes for it. I hate the way the horizontal lines make me look too hippie, and it cuts me across the bust.
Hoffman could approach any random person in this getup, and they'd be thrown for a loop.
You are psychotic. No, I'm not. I'm employed. I got the whole world.
Don't.
I'm not gonna make fun of you.
Don't get close to me.
It's a great performance, complemented by a most perfect disguise.
I mean, in the end, I'm the one that's exploited.
Bullshit, Ron. You know what? I understand you a lot better than you think I do.
Do you agree with our list?
Yes. I do feel it's time to set the record straight.
What's your favorite movie disguise?
Got it. Let's get the hell out of here.
For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Are we close? Any closer, and you'd be mom.